In an ever competitive market, being future ready is no more a choice. This vision can come into action when the technology that is enabling the enterprise is aligned with the business goals. With cloud, organizations have the opportunity to leverage technology not just as a facilitator, but to bring about a transformation in their daily operations, act real time, connect all stakeholders, all this leading to better business decisions in a cost effective manner, and most importantly, with a solution that aligns itself to the business. Today, we'll focus on how you can strategically grow your business with Cloud ERP in a panel featuring top voices from industry. I'm Gautam Srinivasan, your host for the session, and today we have with us Pramod K. Srivastav, CFO at Agarwal Coal Corporation, Venkateshwaru Marapaka, COO at Healthcare Global Enterprises, Narottam Sharma, Group CIO at Mastech, and Piyush Bhise from the Solutions Engineering and Value Advisory business at SAP. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. A wide-ranging discussion is expected. So let's kickstart this webinar with Venkat. Venkat, over the last 18 months, businesses have undergone a massive transformation, and this has had an impact across verticals. So in your opinion, how has the business imperative itself for HCG changed in the post-pandemic period?
Yeah, thank you, Gautam, for inviting me as a speaker on this August gathering. And thank you for all the co-speakers and the participants on this occasion. Last 18 months was a very tough time for all of us during this pandemic. And the business of healthcare, and for that matter, and the healthcare services which need to be provided for this mass people, as tremendous transformation has happened. Previously, it is normally used to be perceived. Healthcare used to be very less technology driven. But now, after post-pandemic, everybody understood that technology is the key to transform the business, how we operate it and how we provide services. As we know, healthcare is meant for providing services, and it's very important to have the transformation and the cloud or the ERP solutions to reach to the mass public in order to provide the service. So it has shown tremendous impact, and the people now feeling that the healthcare is very much important, and healthcare also has realized that adapting to technology is the only key, and ensure that we go for a good technology and provide varied range of services to the people which they're seeking from us.
Absolutely. It's a game of catch up, especially for the healthcare space, considering the volumes of data have increased exponentially, and it's not stopping here. It's just moving forward from here. Of course, managing that brings with it its own complexity, which we'll hear from you as to how you achieve that. But from healthcare, let's shift focus to resources. Pramod, what are the usual bottlenecks when it comes to financial analysis? And how has the role of CFOs changed in traditional industries like yours? And in your opinion, how do cloud technologies help?
Thank you, Gautam, and congratulations for the event. Because in now pandemic time, we face a lot of issue in terms of financial analysis. The basic issue related to financial analysis is data reliability. If you don't have a proper data, so how can you analyze something? So main issue is data reliability. And second one issue is the timely flow of information, because when you need something to analysis immediately, and you don't have any arrangement to get data immediately on time, so maybe some opportunity will be lost. And in this pandemic time, we felt a huge dependency on person to person, because somehow we belong to a industry, very traditional industry. So we adopted cloud technology, but not 100%. So we dependent so much to the human resources. So these three are the basic bottlenecks: the data reliability, timely availability of information, and third, dependency on person to person.
Absolutely. And of course, we'll also explore how those issues around data reliability and timely information can be resolved, especially in industries where there's a lot of physical interface, right?
Yes.
Especially from the resources perspective. That's true. So does retail and, of course, healthcare as well. So let's see how things pan out from here on. Meanwhile, let me come to you, Narottam, since you work in the cloud implementation industry. What are some of the most common myths that organizations have when it comes to cloud deployment, and also your thoughts on some of the issues which Pramod has raised, especially in terms of data reliability and timely availability of information?
So thank you, Gautam, and thank you, HT Media, for inviting me for this panel. And I'll try to create what I can give as a value during the session. So thank you so much once again for me be here. Let me just go back one step before. I would like to share with your permission that yesterday I was thinking, can we have a new name to digital transformation? And so we say that digital is enabling business, digital is to help to grow, digital is for data. But of late, what I realized in this entire pandemic, and only yesterday I just pen it down, the 5C framework for digital transformation to define. Let's say in today's world, digital transformation is enabling and empowering. The first C is, let's say, country. The second is community, and third is company. And what it does, it deliver value to customer, it deliver value to community, and it deliver value to citizen. So, and how? By the meaning of capacity and capability is what it drives. So first three C's around, it's no more something which is related to a specific company or a specific industry. Even at a country level, the transformation is getting enabled and empowered by digital. And a great example for that, if you all know, whether we talk about capacity, capability, community, customer, or anything, India, the COVID app is a great example that the cloud has been leveraged from a citizen and community perspective. And as we are a global company, and I can tell you proudly and with very strong confirmation that such kind of an app is not available anywhere in the globe. So we are leading in some senses of tech. Second is that we are showcasing an adoption that not only corporates, governments are also adopting cloud to a very large level. So that's something which I just want to set a context that the imperative of cloud is not going to go anywhere. Now come to your question, which we just said that what are the few myths? I'll tell you honestly, I was struggling to get a right answer to it because in last 2 years, things have changed dramatically. Earlier, the myths were very different to the today's situation post this pandemic of 2019 or March 2020 when this lockdown happened. Now there's a very different way that how we can utilize cloud to accelerate, enable, empower, or sustain my business. Earlier, the situation was very different, but still, I thought to put something by my research and by my own experience. See, some basic myths which still probably may be prevalent, but they will go away with the awareness. So one is that the cloud is for cost optimization. It is not. Cloud is purely to enable your business, to give you a scale, to create a value for you. So if you purely look at what is the ROI of migrating to cloud, probably you may not get a right ROI ever in the life to migrate to cloud. So let's say for an example, a company which is growing, it's an accelerated growth mode. They need a faster scale of growth. Now, if you do it on your on-prem system, the time to market for bringing a service will definitely go quite late. Hence, cloud play a very important role when you move toward that side. The second aspect, if I talk about migrating to cloud covers everything and everything can migrate to cloud. That's also a myth which is not right. Third, which is very important, that either a single cloud or a multi-cloud, one of them is for me, the answer is no again. Right? You may be using something for collaboration, something for your ERP, but at the same time, you might be using a very different form for your analytics. So the multi-cloud is a new normal for all of us, and that's a future what we all need to think of. Fourth is, if I say that if we migrate to cloud, either we are fully secure or we are not secure, both are wrong. There is a role which needs to be played by company as well as the provider, and in every aspect, SaaS to PaaS, IAS and otherwise, that there's a different role what all we need to play. It will maybe a little detailed discussion. I'll not go there. And fifth is it's a mandate of my management. Hence, I'm doing cloud. It's the biggest myth. A CIO has a tech function has a very important role to play to become a catalyst to growth of a company in these today's environment where he need to understand business imperative should drive tech strategy, and tech strategy should drive selection of platform, whether it is cloud or on-prem or anything. So these are few things which I thought I should bring onto the table. One last thing which I would like to add to Pramod point that, I wish that if by this means somebody listens it, the biggest bottleneck for a CFO and a CIO and when they get stuck is around generally CFO says that, if it would have been a capex investment, I would have amortized over a period of 4 years and it would have not hit me. World is moving towards clouds. It's a complete subscription market now. However, the policies still talk about the amortization thing. So if something can be done in that space, probably that will create a very strong imperative for everyone to get out of the barrier to and have more acceptance by a CFO or a financial guy as well. So I'll stop here.
Absolutely. And very valid points that you have stated, Narottam, especially considering the conversation around cloud has shifted significantly before and after. Taking your last point, now cloud is seen not just as a cost optimizer, but as a competitive advantage enabler, and maybe, hand more working capital in the hands of the enterprise so that they can do more, innovate more, and position themselves as ahead of their competitors smartly. Absolutely. And of course, the 5 C's that you mentioned that stay relevant as always. Let me bring in Piyush at this point. Piyush, you've heard Pramod, Venkat and Narottam state their points. As a solutions advisor, what would you advise or suggest to a customer when it comes to embarking on a cloud journey?
First of all, thanks Gautam for having us here. Means it was a great interaction with every one of you, and I heard from all of you that what it is what it is right for cloud transformation. So I think everybody agrees when I say that the today's economy, organizations need to be flexible, agile, responsive, and sustainable, right? At the same time, organizations are under tremendous pressure to contain their operational cost. So cloud transformation, if done right, can help organization meet both the requirements at the same time. Right, cloud today is all about business transformation. The conversation, as Narottam said, right, the conversation has started to shift from cutting the cost down to more of a strategic outcomes. Right, we are not talking only about cutting the cost down, keeping the operational cost down. We are talking about how you make it to a strategic outcomes, how you take it to your own advantage. Right, so COVID-19 has opened our eyes to need for interconnected economies and workforce, and this has further accelerated the cloud adoption across the different application. The main question on the mind of all the business leaders is not whether to move to cloud or not, right? They are not thinking about right now. They are thinking about how and when. So we are thinking a step ahead here. We are going one more step, and what we are saying is that uh, there is no universal approach. Means there is one question, right? There is no universal approach. There is no right or wrong. But yeah, there are best practices that can be every cloud aspiring company can look up to, right? I would suggest analyze your business processes, see how your business processes are performing, benchmark it against their industry standard, right? And have a tailor-made recommendation. Every company is not same. They have different operating operating way, and you can get the tailor-made recommendations, right? You get your get your house in order, because when you start about transformation, you need to think your things sorted. You need to have your things sorted, understand the business context, have your roadmap available, invest in people, engage them, involve them. I'm talking about end users here. Involve them from the very beginning, so that you have your transformation ready and robust. And then engage with an OEM, where I would say that would be responsible for your service level agreements, your operations, your issue handling. And I will say, when it comes, all of this will come under the same package, under a single contract. It will reduce a lot of complexity. So definitely, I would echo with what Narottam said, what Pramod said, and what Venkat said. That's what cloud is, something which is definitely a go-to thing when you're talking about digital transformation. When we're talking about business outcome, we are innovating in the business model. So that's
All right.
that's
All right, Piyush, let's now understand the nuts and bolts of this, of how the cloud ERP enables this transformation. And Venkat, for that, I'll come to you. As we mentioned earlier, we've seen cloud play a major role in revolutionizing the healthcare space. Now, HCG is India's largest cancer care provider and has been at the forefront of health tech adoption. So, how do you see cloud ERP impacting the future of healthcare? Where do things stand now, and where are things going to progress?
Yeah, so I think cloud is the need of the hour. Why I would say is, now I would make it simple statement. Cloud is saving lives. I'll tell you how. See, by giving the landscape of our country and a huge population, and our doctor per 1,000 population ratio is very less. Like approximately the WHO recommends we should have a 1 doctor per 1,000 population, but we have, one doctor for almost also 5,000 population, something like that. And catering to the needs of these many people is what for 1 doctor is not possible. I'll tell you the example which we are following. See, in our hospital, we have a cloud physician model where the doctor sits maybe in a Los Angeles or in a Bangalore and monitor my patients the minute to the minute. And by that way, we have saved so many lives. And for a doctor who is in my hospital, being in an ICU for 24 hours is not possible. But the doctors sitting across the globe can monitor my patient day to day, even minute to the minute, and send the updates to the treating physician who is in local. This is what happening with the patient. And he is updated. And the doctor who is treating also sitting at his home can log into the software and see how is his patient. So he no need to be literally be here, but he can take care about his patient. And that is the remarkable the thing which has happened to the today's healthcare after pandemic. Yes, this solution was available before, but people were not willing to opt for it and adopt it. But now,
and from the employee side, that's the customer facing side. What about the employee side? How have things changed?
Employee side, it's also easy for us. It gives that confidence that there is somebody is constantly looking at my patient. And the patient also is having that confidence that I am under monitoring 24 hours. They have that confidence. And they know that if you go to this kind of a system where I get a good healthcare or good coverage, the doctor is there to give me good care 24 hours. So that's what is happening. And in future of the healthcare is like it's like except the operating rooms and ICUs, everything can be done at home. Like if once you meet a physician and for all follow-up visits, you can do it by sitting at home. That's what the telemedicine and cloud is enabling. And you can get all the needs except eye-end scans or something like that. You can do everything at home, and the reports, you can log in and check it in your portal, and you can have a teleconsultation with the doctor. And it is easy for you, and you can avoid any kind of getting the infections while traveling or in any of the hospitals. That's how the cloud is really transforming the healthcare. And over a period of time, once the now government of India has started digital health mission, where they are going to import HL7 standards and IPA compliances. When that happens, when the healthcare records get transferred between the hospitals to hospitals, and as we Indians, we can go to any nearby hospital, you can retrieve your data, which is almost 10-15 years or whichever hospital in India you have taken, and your doctor presently who is reviewing, you can see all your health records. So that is the capacity of the cloud, how it is going to revolutionize. I think that is the future of the healthcare.
Absolutely. And we see new business models and new revenue streams also coming into play, as a lot of the big healthcare providers, they traverse between the phygital universes, where they have the digital app, the digital storefront, enabling a new kind of an interaction, and the digital app enabling the patient-doctor interactions to improve, while also providing data for their hospital. If ever there is a need to go to the hospital has that data which can customize that interaction to the patient. Lots of possibilities right now, and lots of possibilities coming up ahead as well. But taking this conversation forward, we have a CFO and a CIO in the panel. I want to hear their interaction around a point which Narottam previously mentioned. It's that, in essence, it's not just about cost optimization, and things are changing. It's not just amortization. How have your roles kind of interplayed with each other? Let's say, Pramod, as a CFO, while assessing any new technology to adopt, now what are the important areas of consideration? Because as a CFO now, a lot of, and considering all this digital transformation happenings, new functions are coming into your role as well, which weren't there earlier. So your thoughts on this?
Yes, yes, yes. You can say that now CFO role has totally changed. It is now not only the traditional kind of role that you have to simply do financial analysis and all. No. Now we need to focus on technology also. So as you question that what is the parameter for assessing any new technology whenever you adopt it? So basically, it should be user friendly, because we are not going to use it. The data entry level, that people should be able to do proper entry at a very comfortable atmosphere. So it should be user friendly, not too much complicated. It may be complicated at our end, because whenever we take any kind of report, so it may be complicated. We can do. There is no issue. But at entry level, it should be very much user friendly. And secondly, customization should be necessary. Otherwise, whenever you install anything, okay, first, whenever you install anything, whenever you take any technology, you take it and you simply install it. But later on, when you use it, then you need to customize it. When you use it properly, then you feel that, okay, I need some kind of customization. So if your technology is not that friendly that we cannot customize it, then there will be big issue. Then somehow we feel that are we have taken such kind of software or technology, and have we done any mistake? So because customization is very much important. And the third one is the reliability or credit worthiness of the vendor from where we are taking that technology, because in this market n number of vendors are there. So this is very tough call from where you can take this technology, because all vendors show a very good picture to you that we can do this thing, we can do this, but you never know how it will go off and when it will go off. So the basic question is reliability and credit worthiness. We need to check the goodwill. We need to check how they play in the market, and what is the style of working. Sometimes they charge huge, but their goodwill is very good. So we, as per our financial availability, we can opt it. There is no issue. And last but not least, being a CFO, we have to check cost effectiveness. So this is our primary responsibility.
That will never go away. But again, now the case for business value has gained higher prominence, I would say. Of course, cost optimization still remains relevant, but the fact that the cloud enables you to experiment, I think, is another imperative there, where you can test and see what works and what doesn't, rather than going all in and investing all in and then later regretting that. But it's interesting to see how the roles themselves have kind of become closer. The role of a CFO has expanded, and so has the role of the CIO. Narottam, before I ask about where we stand in the cloud maturity curve, any thoughts on what Pramod has said, especially to this interplay of the roles between the CFO and the CIO, especially as the lines become blurred? And Narottam, you're on mute. If you could unmute yourself.
Sorry, Pramod. So I heard. Sorry, Gautam. So I heard Pramod. Very valid points. I said the role is not. The lines are not becoming blurred. They are becoming very clearer. That's how I see it. From a perspective, they were blurred earlier, where the CIO did not have an understanding of business, and the CFO did not have an understanding of tech. Yes. So if this is how it is coming, they are very much complementing to each other. And in that sense, if we look at, if CIO can talk in terms of business, he might have a very good conversation with the CFO to get the money. If he wants to talk in terms of tech, probably he will never win on the question of ROI from a CFO. So that's what I feel. On the second aspect is, we want to bring this tech. The discussion is over. It is scrap. And if somebody is doing the discussion in that way, that I want to bring A OEM, B OEM, C OEM, or C A platform, B platform, or A technology, B technology, that's not the point. The point is, what my business needs, what it will bring onto the table from the value perspective. And third is, if not today, then what I'm losing of not having it, rather than having a discussion that I want to bring it. So the conversation has to change. If it is not there for next 1 year, am I losing anything or I am gaining anything? So this is how, and it only can happen when the CIO has a business imperative, a business class in mind. So that on this point. What was the next question, Gautam? If you can just.
So the next question that I would come to is understanding where we are on the cloud maturity curve. Since you've worked on cloud implementation projects across different countries, how would you rank the maturity level of the Indian market and say what are some of the more mature markets that we could learn some lessons from and the potential areas of improvement that you see here compared to the global market?
So is that now you want me to answer, or you will come in?
So you can answer right now. So now you can answer,
Yeah.
since you've clarified the point of that CFO CIO interplay.
I say slowly hair lines are getting blurred, where the geographies are no more important. It was definitely there sometime before, where US used to have a dominance in every tech to come, and then it used to follow in multiple geographies across the globe. But slowly that's changing. So if I pick up an example of healthcare, at itself a big example where a physical and a virtual world coming together, it is called metaverse in the terms what we use. And it's not happening in healthcare, it is happening across. Now the adoption of tech is more on the use case, and use case can be anywhere across. And the kind of startup ecosystem India has now, and largely all are digital native companies. If you look at maximum startups are around that side. So slowly that is becoming a very, a thin line, I should say. But definitely, as you ask this question, it's still some advancement there in the Silicon Valley, where things are still much faster in adoption, experimentation, and all. Slowly, India and this APAC region is also picking up. We are not very far. And cloud adoption in all these geographies will increase from where the state what they are today. So irrespective, if I am at 68%, I may reach to, let's say by 2025, by 92%, somebody is at 92%, might reach to 96% in the adoption. But this is going to be a common thread. If you want to scale, if you want to agile, if you want to experiment, if you want to reinvent the business model, if you want to add a digital revenue to your stream of revenue apart from purely a pure revenue, then you need to definitely look for cloud. And Indian companies, I can tell you honestly, I have been in, this is my, I think, third or fourth consecutively transformation role which I'm performing. In last 7-8 years, I have seen companies who are very proactive in using the cloud for their business purposes. So I should say, yes, there are some gaps, but slowly they are going away. India and APAC is also picking up as good as US and other markets. So I don't see a much challenge. Yes, big difference on someone first, someone later, but
mixture of what the data is saying and what your gut is saying. So let's see how things head from here. Piyush, let me bring you in at this point in time just to focus on that aspect of, as Narottam, since the lines are actually getting clear between CFOs and CIOs. What sort of possibilities now open up, especially now that the cloud is seen as not just, cost optimization tool or, they're doing it, so let's do it as well. How does that thinking change the way things work, and how does it change expectations? Because as Pramod said, there's so many technologies, so many vendors in the market, it becomes hard for them to choose. So in terms of this galaxy of options which open up, what are some key advice points you would give to viewers who are watching this presentation?
See, I think what Narottam mentioned is perfectly fine. Means we are not talking about only cost optimization here. We are talking about some added advantage, what value addition you are getting from your for your enterprise applications, right? So that is one priority. But I think when you're talking about digital transformation, you need to keep certain things as a checklist, or I would say the readiness to understand whether are you really available or are you really ready to transform your organization, something which is really in need or not, right? So first thing as Venkat also mentioned, that you need to understand your KPIs, you need to understand your business context, right? So as the first step, I think organizations should consider what they wanted to achieve and how cloud technology can support this, right? You should not do that somebody has done, so let us also do it in the same way, right? That should not be the approach. Implementing new technology is also a good opportunity to access your data and get rid of absolute data, right? Whatever is not required, you can just get rid of it. You also you need to gain your executive support and have a clear roadmap with the timelines and milestones mentioned over it. So how that will work and what benefits you will get is that you have a business transformation, having a clear roadmap, that with the desired outcomes through clear KPIs and metrics, right? You need to understand that where you were earlier, how mature you are right now, how KPIs have been improved. So you get a clear difference between the previous and what has happened earlier and what will happen in the future, right? So based on this thing and summarizing this thing, I think every organization as of now is ready for digital transformation if they have a clear roadmap available with them, right? If organization keep ERP at its core and have a digital transformation roadmap ready, they're prepared to move to cloud ERP, and can offer the best in class customer experience, right? Let us look from the different perspective where you mentioned, right? We are not talking about only one model here. We are talking about multi-model. We are talking about more revenue generating model where they are talking where the so if you see every CEO, right? Every CEO has one goal, one agenda in their list: business model innovation, right? So organization need to align, define its goals and strategy. Organization can also deploy more than one type of business model, as you said, right, to unlock a new revenue stream, a new value. So I think organizations, processes, IT backbone need to transform itself to support these models. These revenues and profits are recognized entirely different way, right? As Pramod mentioned, right? Earlier things were little different. Now things have been evolved a little different way, right? So effective cloud adoption can be only way or can help organization achieve this kind of transformation. In the end, I would say everything is connected. Business processes are evolving, so are the customer expectations. Everything is evolving with the hyper speed. Therefore we need to have a seamless connection across different processes, and this can be done by using a standardized platform that can manage everything from application, server, storage, and infrastructure. And that's how I think cloud can support it.
All right. And in terms of knowing when you are ready for cloud ERP for an enterprise which is wondering about, is this the way to go for me? What's the final message you would say to the viewers watching this, Piyush, when that hesitancy comes? Is this for me or not? What would be a message you would give to the viewers watching this, and also give us a preview of what are how the solutions universe itself is expanding when it comes to ERPs?
See, I think Pramod mentioned, right? We should not go about something which is only standardized, right? We should talk about customization. So when I talk about evolving of solutions, there can be many, right? But what I wanted to say here is that when you're talking about a roadmap, a universal path, there is no such universal transformation roadmap available for any digital transformation. It's just the best practices which can be shared, which can be really adopted by all the companies, all the organizations who really wanted to move to cloud, right? The customizations and the things which need as per your organization need, as per your operating industry, can follow that, right? The agenda should be fixed, that what you wanted to achieve through cloud transformation, how agile you wanted to be, how operational resilient you wanted to have your organization in the future times, and based on that, things will follow.
All right, Narottam, you have something to add to this. What would you like to say?
Yeah, so there are two points. One is to the current one, so I'll pick up this one and then I'll come to the another one. See, as a CIO, when we build the strategy, so as you said, what is the right time to start digital transformation? So I should say it was yesterday. So, whether irrespective of any industry or any company you are, but what is my maturity index as an organization from a digital perspective? You need to have an horizontal and vertical cut, and it should be very specific to your organization. So let's say if I am an organization of probably, let's say, manufacturing or any industry for that matter, and I say I have a great product, but I'm very, very far in the digital marketing of my assets today. So for me, maybe the ERP may not be the immediate need for me. My marketing function maturity on digital adoption is the key for me so that I can increase the reach of my product. I can talk about more of and capture more space in the social media or maybe in the digital marketing space for me. Or let's say my data insights, when Pramod was talking in the beginning, today we do not take decisions basis the real-time data, and we are taking decision basis still the manual excels and all. So I know my data quality and data collection, data reporting is all very weak, and due to which I am not able to take right decisions. And that will drive you further from where data comes. Are your processes, as Piyush was talking about, what is your maturity of process of each and every function? What kind of platform you are using? Are they scalable? Are the processes written rightly and simplified? Third is, are you having an integrated value chain of all your processes? How much automation you are using in the system, and how much intelligence you are using into the organization. So the 5 levers of platform, process, integration, automation, and intelligence are this way, and then function, each function on all these 5 parameters vis-a-vis your current problem. So this is a matrix what you need to build to know your index, and then think where your investment should go to have the highest value coming to organization. Coming back to the earlier point, the digital transformation and cloud especially help you from a tech architecture simplification perspective as well. See, over a period of every time, every company has spent so much of money. So it's not that the companies are not putting money. Digital is not today. Digital was there many years before as well. So we probably have moved from digital evolution to digital revolution. So, today, like, white revolution, green revolution is a digital revolution century. But if we talk about net banking in 2000 was a great example of digital transformation, right? We don't talk much about it today, but at that time it was far ahead of the time. So in that context, if I talk about, companies have invested a lot in different technologies. Many companies have done organic and inorganic growth. So they have a lot of acquisitions in place. This is when you do your digital transformation is a great time to simplify your entire architecture. And that probably help you to achieve frugality as well as save cost, which not be a direct KPI, but can help you to scale fast, simplify, experience, and optimize the cost. So that's what I thought bring on to it.
Absolutely. Some great points there, and serves as a shorthand for understanding the power of the cloud ERP, and of course, understanding it in the context of outcomes for an enterprise. Well, we've had a great discussion, but unfortunately, we've run out of time. And as we heard today, as organizations, they finally begin to embrace digital transformation. Cloud ERP becomes the first step towards integration and towards unlocking insights that could change the entire course of decision making. As we heard in the discussion, it's not just about cost optimization, it is about improving your competitive advantage. You've just begun to see the initial benefits of this solution, while its potential implications could be far more profound. As Venkat said, it's just beginning. The revolution has just begun, especially in his space, and we've heard from Pramod as to how the impact has been felt in the resources space. As an enabler, Narottam kind of beautifully outlined how the possibilities come about. So a wide-ranging and a wonderful discussion, and of course Piyush explaining to us how the questions need to be framed, and of course how the solutions need to be thought of when it comes to the context of the enterprise. So covered all points there. Thank you everyone for joining us on this panel, and of course for this discussion today, and thank you to our viewers who I hope have been able to extract some value in helping their businesses move forward. Till next time, this is Gautam Srinivasan signing off. Have a great day.